Good morning, everybody. So did some thinking lately, trying to figure out how to get the sprayer in. Got to move that rack a good 6 feet. Well, that changes everything because I had gravity flow totes up here that would go into this guy for when I was spraying corn and needed the extra chemical. So I put all my regular chemical there, my totes into here, everything go through into the sprayer. Well, if I move that back, I'll have to change a lot of geometry. I didn't like it. So I think what I'm going to do is strip this one down, which I've already started. The totes are out there. Strip this one down, switch places for the two racks. I've got Roundup, dicamba, 2,4-D, and then a deal called Synergize. That's just the deal you put in. It makes it not beat up. It lets that water spread when it hits the plant. I can't think of the technical term for it at the moment. Go figure. Anyways, I can get rid of this pump. I'll need that one as a pump. I need my Roundup as a pump. So I'm thinking when I put that rack over here, I'll put my gravity flow here, fit this guy right here, put my pumps down on the end since they can pump all the way over, and then stuff like Synergize, dicamba, any other totes that I get that I just can pull jugs out of, I'll put on the rack that'll be over here. Plus you got all the random chemical and all the mouse turds. Oh, that's the one nasty thing about this place. Mice love this shed no matter how much bait we put in here. So yeah, I'm going to keep working on this, give you guys some updates on how this goes. Like I said, I've got an idea in here, just making it work in here. Yeah. Those of you that have been watching the Sunday videos, you know Chopper's got to get hauled off to go get some work done. Truck showed up today. It's getting everything set up and ready. Man, these guys got some good looking trucks. But yeah, Chopper's leaving, be back in about a month. This has been kind of a on again, off again project all day. Got everything over there kind of reorganized tighter. Move this tank over because we're going to wind up getting rid of it. Went and met with the guy I get all of our chemical from, local applicator. Got a 3,000 gallon tank on order because with no more water pressure than we have here, that guy can't keep up. So get a 3,000 tank, it's same diameter as that. Still have the cone, chemical. Yeah, I've got a plan in my head. It's just a matter of making it work out right. So I'm gonna put this on pause for a minute. The tire guy just got the tires on the tractor, so real quick before I run out of daylight here. Like it's even close, it's way up there. I got everything adjusted on that. Glenn got a disc put back on because we had bearing go out. I'm gonna get that filled. But first I gotta weigh this because that's how we do our calibration. I'll weigh this, fill the drill, weigh it again, then I know how many acres I should be able to plant, add 100 pounds to the acre. If it's wrong, you adjust after however many acres you do, which it's going to be 30, 35 acres, so not a whole lot of acres before you know if you need to make an adjustment. So let's get started doing that, and then we'll put all that other stuff away. 25,600. Trit weighs a little bit more than oats and uncleaned wheat. All right, let's go fill the drill. Alright guys, hopefully you can hear me over that engine. So we bought this seed tender in 2017 when we got back to planting corn around here. There we go. So we went through a massive drought. Sorry. We went through a massive drought 2002 to 2012 basically. We had a couple years in there that were better than some, but 2002 to 2013 it was brutal around here. 12 and 13 especially. 14 we kind of got back to planting some row crops. 15 was a little bit more, and then 16 we really took off again. 2016 is when we bought the 16 row planter. I threw bags for that because the way our operation is, you know, you're kind of spread out. You're kind of a one-man operation on everything, depending on whatever job you're doing. So I threw all the bags on the 16 row planter for just over 1,000 acres. And I told the old man, I go, we need to get a seed tender, because if you get one like this, you can not only put corn seed in it, you can put wheat in it. And at the time we had this little 4-wheel gravity cart with a little 4-inch auger for our wheat, and it was miserable because it was sketchy to climb up on top to dump the wheat in, or triticale at the time. We were getting bags of triticale, 2,000-pound bag tote. So you had to crawl up on top of this thing, and our loader could barely reach over it holding that bag, and we decided to go with something like this. Looking back now, I really wish we would have spent some extra money to get some of the extra options. So the reason I was getting on and off all the time, there is no hydraulics on this thing other than up and down. You got raise, lower, start and stop on the belt. So the first time I got off was to move forward, because the salesman, when I bought it, assured me you could fill a 30-foot planter without ever moving. He lied. Whew, who would have thought? Salesman lied. So I fill one box, we'll pull it forward, fill the other box. That's why I got off first time. It's got no hydraulic movement, so everything you're doing up there is just off body weight. I found spots here in our main yard where we do this, where it sits flat. If I was just over here a little bit on the angle, it takes all my 300 pounds have to hold that thing still sometimes. The other thing I would like is the hydraulic controlled gates, because I do not like leaving this full. That's fuller than I like leaving it. So when you're about done, you have to guesstimate, shut it off, hop off, come over here, shut your gate, hop back up, and finish. So, I mean, they're, in the grand scheme of things, they're not problems, but they're annoyances. Either way, enough babbling. Let's go weigh this, see how much we got on. Of course, I hit record and it would move 20 pounds, but 25,600 minus 22,140. I'm gonna be able to plant 34, 35 acres at 100 pounds per acre. Okay, now I got a ballpark figure. I know if I miss that, gotta change my calibration number in the monitor. I'm gonna go unhook this, park the planter. God, it still rides rough. And put all the stuff in the spray shed for the night. Get started, maybe get someone started on a few projects for that tomorrow while I get started planting. See how this goes. So now that this is all cleaned out, gotta wait on the tank to know where to place everything. So I'm just gonna grab a forklift, throw all this in. That rack needs some cutting and welding done to it, so I'll leave it here. Hopefully get Aaron and Cody up here tomorrow with the service truck while I'm planting. They can get that all straightened out. Alright, so there you go. Everything's inside. Better shut the propane off. But yeah, this project's at a standstill for now. Let's go take a look at the sprinkler pond. You guys have been getting a lot done this week. Let's go see what it looks like tonight. Well, things are moving fast over here. This is where that giant trench was yesterday when I was over here. That's closed in. They got the mesh around the cylinders with some pipes in there to give it some spacing. But yeah, this was that hole that went like 15 foot down yesterday that I was standing in. Come over here. So they got the mesh on that one. I think I already said they didn't initially order lids thinking we didn't want them. So now we're waiting on those. Nothing changed here. That was already there. What has changed, pipeline is closed in behind the excavator over here. So you can see they closed in the pipeline. They'll put a 45 on that. Yeah, I'll probably take a 45. Start coming up. So they've already got it sloped. So it'll come up that slope and then flatten out and come over flat. And I'm going to say it'll be, looking at the well, they'll have to come over to about right here. Because we'll have the motor and the well, or the lift, pump, whatever, however you want to word it. I don't know what to call it. And then that silver tube right beside it, that's the filter. So that'll come off of that and then go back down and over into this pipeline. So that's looking good. We look over here, this pipeline's all closed in. They got the lid on and they got the valve in place. Hell yeah. This is moving fast. If we can get electricity, this might be ready for the first run of water, which be roughly a week away from now. I'm gonna shut this off because I'm gonna go clear over here to the other side of the pond. Just wanted to show you this. Lastly, culvert number 3 is in place. So they got that one in down on that end of this pond yesterday. Kenny and Aaron, I believe, are the two today who got this one in. I don't know about the trench going like that. I'd much rather the water kind of go that way and then have to flow over there, but either way, it's in. We are ready for concrete on all 3 of those, concrete on the pad. It's a good day. With just kind of the cleaning stuff today, I'm probably just going to roll this video into tomorrow. Get the planter really rolling. We got a bunch of spring trit. Yeah, we're going to see how this goes. We got a lot to get planted in a short amount of time to take advantage of that moisture that's in the soil profile. So, see you guys in the morning. Morning. So I decided to get an early start today. It's about 6 o'clock. Reason getting an early start, met with the agronomist last night. We got a lot of work to do with this. We got a lot of work to do with the sprayer. But we got a lot of work for the other tractors, so it's gonna get busy around here. And we're coming right up on Easter weekend. Today is Good Friday, so time to work is gonna be in short supply the next few days. So either way, let's go get this thing running, but first I'm gonna let it warm up while I eat my breakfast burrito. It's not very often a non-irrigated field has that drastic a color when we're planting. That's insane. And that's why we're covering as much ground as quickly as possible, because our irrigation and water outlook is making it look like mid-July we're gonna be done farming, so we want to get everything we can going right now to take advantage of the rainfall we got, any potential for another rain, which looking at the long-term forecast is pretty slim, but also just we've got to make a crop as quickly as possible. So this trit, our wheat, our oats, all that stuff, you know, that's done early to where we can reevaluate what the rest of the year is going to bring. But mainly I wanted to grab the camera and just show you that because I'm just blown away by the soil moisture profile, because that's just unheard of out here on the plains, it seems like, anymore. Alright, two things. One, last night when we filled the drill, I told you 34, 35 acres should run it empty. I set the meter according to how we've been setting it for every crop, because we don't actually go through the full calibration of this thing every year because we just do so much small grain. We go off our notes from last year, but then our first fill is kind of how we adjust. So there's times where 100 pounds is your goal. You might be at 120, you might be at 80. You just adjust because that's 30 acres. It's not that big a deal. We haven't planted trit in a while, so we didn't really have any notes on it other than the marking from where it was 5 years ago. I ran off of that, but I set the meter just like I do for all the others at about a 50-pound rate to get to 100, because our slop in the slides has grown. You know, this thing has 11,000 acres on it, and we've never had to rebuild all that. We've redone the discs, but we've never had to adjust all the slides. So the way it's been, basically, you set your rate for half of your target. Planted 30 acres, and the drill was still half full. So since I was right there, I filled it, did all my weighing again, and come to find out, triticale is the only crop we plant that is still holding true. 50 pounds on the meter, planted right at 50 pounds. Luckily, it wasn't on stuff that's going to be irrigated, so it turned out okay. I mean, like I said, it was just our experiment to kind of get it going. So now, I'm over here replanting a field that we planted last fall. This was wheat. We had intended on irrigating, but because our last run of water there in November was so cold, we couldn't run our pivots at night because of ice. The pond over here, though, unfortunately loses 20% of its water on a normal run. So when we were having to shut it off at night, we lost over 50% of our water, got almost nothing irrigated here. You can tell, kind of looking out there, there's a little green tint, but there's not much. What is coming isn't going to tiller well, so the best thing to do was just replant. Field's still in really good shape from last year, so we don't need to work it. Save as much moisture as possible. But yeah, this is going to be a full replant. So we got this field to replant. Another field, we were just shy of getting it all irrigated, so I got a 5 acre pie that needs replanted. But other than that, all of our wheat is looking good. It's just going to be planting open ground and corners, because none of our corners came up if they got planted. About half of them didn't get planted. But yeah, let's just check up. It is 10 o'clock. Wow, it's already 10 o'clock. So I'll double check my weight when I get this done. I'm at 12 acres now. Hopefully it'll hit that 34, 35 magic number. You know, the irrigation water is getting close when everyone's starting to burn. So that's one of the neighbors there. He's got his weed burner. Weed burner is just propane tank on wheels with a giant boom for your torch. He's burning off weeds on his pond. I know our crew is going to fire up this afternoon and go start doing some burning. It's a good time. Fire's fun. As long as you keep it under control, fire is fun. I was talking a little bit ago there about our burn crew. They've been going right through here. There's Aaron. They just passed Cody with the water trailer. They just burned that ditch, burned another farm. Now they're headed to another farm. Just all we're doing is trying to get rid of all the weeds in the ditches so water can flow like it should. This isn't ours, but this shows you what they're trying to do. See, they got their ditch, the bar pit, the ditch on this, or the bar pit on this side, just trying to get rid of all that debris so water can flow. Yeah, that's all. I'm headed another 2 miles north to the next field. Okay guys, got just right at 150 acres planted today. As you saw, we started this morning before the sun came up. It's 6 o'clock now. So that's right at 12 hours in the seat of this tractor. My wife brought me lunch. I'm tired of sitting in this tractor, so we're gonna call it a day. Planter's empty. I'm 11 acres into another field. But like I said, planter's empty. There's enough in the seed tender to fill this one more time. That's about it. It's Easter weekend. Happy Easter, everybody. Almost forgot that. But it's Easter weekend. More seed will not arrive till Monday. Can't blame the trucking companies. It's a good weekend to take off. But yeah, I'm pretty tired now. I think I'll go home.